Hello students, welcome to my channel Agricultural Engineering Online with continuation of video lecture series in farm machinery. In this lecture we will discuss about mold plow, how it works, the different components of the mold plow, what are the different accessories of the mold plow, what are the different adjustment of the mold plow, and how it is hitched to the either bullock or to the tractor or power tiller, or different adjustment to adjust the width or depth of the plow. So what is mold plow? Basically mold plow is the basic implement for opening up of the soil. So basically this is a primary tillage implement, and this is considered to be the most important tillage implement because it opens the hard surface of the soil. So it consumes more traction energy than any other operation because the hard soil is broken and it requires more energy in this case. It cuts soil to lose the porous lies from the hard surface. It also inverts the porous lies more or less in pulverized form because the mold plow lifts the soil and it bends it little or inverts it to make it in pulverized form. It is generally used for covering grass into soil immediately after rains because so the surface is exposed to the more nutrients, the upper surface, and the grass and other things are buried into the soil to be used or decomposed into fertilizer later on. It is one of the oldest of all agricultural implements because initially it was desi plow, then it is modified to metallic plow in India especially, but in all over the world mold plow is the basic implements which is the most oldest of all agricultural implements. It is generally designed by cut, try and error method. Basically the mold bottom is the most important, the curvature of the bottom, which is generally designed by using a different trial and method, and nowadays computerized form it is generally designed how the plow bottom should be having the curvature. Let us discuss different components of the mold plow. First of all, most important component is the plow bottom, so which has to be designed carefully so that it is generally used mostly for the plowing purpose or for the opening up of the soil. Then plow frame, which is the basic component of the mold plow. All the plow bottoms are attached to the plow frame. In turn, the plow frame is generally attached or hitched to the tractor at the hitch point. Then different attachments are there, we will discuss. Basically the coulters and jointers, which will help to have the better efficiency of the working of the mold plow. Different wheels are the other components which are used to adjust the depth of the mold plow as well as transporting the mold plow in off there is the road on the road or basically off working condition. Then lifting mechanism, how it will be lifted during the operation, or depth and draft, how it can be adjusted by the tractor. So there will be different lifting mechanism is applied, we will discuss in this. Then plow hitch, how it is hitched to the tractor or power tiller or to the bullocks. So hitching of the plow is very important. So this is one component of the mold plow. Then depth adjusting mechanism. So basically by using the depth gauge, a gauge wheel, or by using the tractor hydraulics to adjust the depth automatically. Then there are little other adjustments we will see in this chapter. Let us discuss about the plow bottom first. So basically plow bottom is a three-sided wedge. You can see this is three sides here, one side, then this is the second side, then the other side is this one. So basically this is the triangular shape, you can see three sides are there. So one side, second side and third side. So this is a three side wedge, basically the plow bottom. So if you see, a plough bottom is like this one. This is a triangular one type in basic form. So there are three main parts of the mold board plough. One is the mold board. Mold board is the part, this part which is used to lift the soil up and invert the soil. The mold board is the most important part of the plough bottom. The land side, so land side is this part. This is the land side, the side of the mold board, which actually touches the land during the operation, or the, you can say, furrow wall. So it touches the furrow wall, or it takes the side thrust. So we will discuss about that. This is the land side, or land slide sometimes it is called, or land side it is also called. Land slide or land side, no problem. This is land side. So this is let us say not slide, this is land side. Okay. Then shear. Shear is the another most important component or main component of the mold board plough. So which actually penetrate into the soil, or it cuts the soil. So shear is this part. So this part is the shear of the plough bottom. So these three, mold board plough, land side and shear, are rigidly fastened to the frog. Frog is just like, you can say, frame of the plough bottom. So just like the frame of the mold board plough is a hole, this is the, you can say here, this is the frame of the mold board plough. But if you see a complete plough bottom, this is a plough bottom. So this plough bottom, so this mold board, land side and shear are fastened to the frog. So in turn the frog is fastened to the attached to the frame of the mold board. The main function of the plough bottom, or you can say mold board plough, is cut the furrow slice. So the opening of the soil, the hard soil initially, because it is a primary implement, settle the soil. The soil has to be dispersed from the point of cutting. So basically it is lifted up and kept into side. So in the form of that, it inverts the furrow slice to cover the trash. So basically the cutting, settling and inverting the soil. The size of the plough bottom, so this is basic, generally depends how it is specified. The size of the plough bottom is width of the furrow designed to cut. So basically in the bottom, plough bottom, in the plough, let us 1, 2, 3 or 4 bottoms will be there in the plough, total MB plough. Let us see like this. So then on this, so this one is the, you can say, the designed width, you can say, width of the plough. So this is the individual mold board. So this is the width, and if you say total width of cut is this much, because this is the plough, total plough. The number of bottoms, in this case 3. So 3 into this width of 1. So this width of cut for the plough. So basically it is specified as 2 into 40 or 3 into 35 or 3 into 40, 41, 45, something like that. So 41 or 30 or 35 is the width of cut for each individual bottom, and 3 is the number of bottom. Next is the coming to the main parts. First of that is shear. We will discuss little about the shear. Shear is the part of the plough bottom which actually penetrates into the soil and makes a horizontal cut below the surface. Basically, if you see, this is the shear portion which penetrates into the soil and it cuts. There are different type of shear. So depending on the sharpness of the shear, so how efficiently it is cutting the soil. Next, the mold board. So mold board is the curved part which lifts the soil and turns the slice, or you can see in this case slice, because when shear cuts the slice, it has to be carried from the point of cutting. So basically it is the mold board which is the curved portion. Curvature is very important. There are different types of plough having different curvature. So basically it lifts the soil and turns to the side. Next is the land side or land slide. So it is the, so you can say not slide, land side. So land side It is the flat plate which bears against and transmits the rear side lateral thrust of plough bottom to the forward. So you can say here this one is the length side or length slide. So this one is the side of the mold board plough which takes the thrust. So because during cutting, so it is to there are different components to the force of the cutting force. So we discussed in the soil dynamics or tillage forces, but in this case, so all the side forces will be taken by the this is very important. Length side takes the side thrust of the plough. So basically, it transmits the side thrust to the soil or furrow wall. Next is the frog. So frog is the part which or base of the plough to which other parts are attached. So you can see here. So this is here is the frog part, which joins all the parts. Then the another part is tail piece. Sometimes the tail piece is actually attached here. It is the extension of the moldable plough. So depending on the requirement of the inversion or more inversion is required, that means the turning the furrow slice. If more turning is required, then there is a extension of the mold board, that is called the tail piece. So basically there are different other parts you can see here. Frog is the brace, this is the connection between the length side and the frog. Then seam of the shear, then cutting edge of the shear, wing of the shear. If it's a little width is given, then wing of the shear, then point of shear where actually the cutting starts. Then gunnel of the shear, the rear portion of the shear is called the gunnel. Then types of plough bottoms. So basically the plough bottoms are classified depending on the requirement or use. So the plough bottom curvature on basically the length side width or length or the type of shears. So first one is the high speed or general purpose plough bottom, which is having medium curvature. So basically it can be used for any type of ploughing. So fairly long with gradual twist. So basically little twist is there or curvature is less, medium curvature you can say. Surface slightly convex type, sloping of the surface is gradual, and it turns a well defined furrow slice and pulverizes thoroughly. So basically it's generally used for general purpose, or most of the time this type of plough is used if special purpose is not required. So then this will look like this. So basically the this is having gradual twist, or you can say slope is gradual. Next is the stubble type. So basically the stubble type is having relatively abrupt curvature. It is short, so that stubble means it lifts, breaks and turns the furrow slice. Mostly it is turning the furrow slice is required more, then stubble type are used, which is generally best suitable for the stubble soil. But if there is more grass, so stubble and grass are different. Stubbles will be the plant remaining big plants or little stronger one. So there is the bush type, but the grass will be manifested on throughout the soil. So it's not suitable for the grassy land, but it's mostly used for the stubble type soil. Then sod or breaker type soil. So where actually the mold board is long with gentle curvature. So basically if you see stubble type having abrupt, and this is very less or gentle curvature, which leaves and inverts the unbroken furrow slice. So basically it does not break the furrow slice, it turns over quickly and cover the soil. Basically it is used for covering the soil, not breaking the soil much. This type has been designed for short soil or grass type. So here in grass type of soil, the breaking is not required because the grass has to be covered. So therefore this is called the sod or breaker type plough bottom. So this is very important actually. It is just it covers the grass. Next is the slat type. So slat means something related to slippery or something like that. Surface is made of slat placed along the length of the mold board. So basically to reduce the friction. So basically this is often used where the soil is sticky. So stickiness has to be reduced. So because less you can say the during the movement of the soil on the board, so the surface area should be less, so that there will be less adhesion to the of the soil to the metal part. Therefore the solid mold board does not cover well in sticky soil. Therefore it is perforated type or slat type. So this is generally used for the sticky soil. This is slat types. Then blackland soil, it is used for plowing silty soil. Generally this is clay soil, you can say this is clay and this is silty. Silty soil means more loams are there which are black in nature, black sand soil, where scouring is a problem. In this case also scouring is a problem. It is relatively small mold area and its shape tends to promote scouring of soil. So if the shape is given, basically there is a little difference between slat type and blackland type, but in blackland the shape is given designed in such a way that it promotes scouring of the soil. So these are the different types of plough bottoms. Now in the form of hitching, how it is pulled by the power source, it can be classified as trailed one. So if trailed one is the known as the pull type mold board plough, and it is complete unit itself support on the two wheels. So you can see here, so it's a very big one and having two wheels are there here and here. So these two wheels mostly supports the mold board, and the complete unit is hitched by the drawbar of the tractor. So here actually the hydraulic system is generally not used in this system. So it is a trail type. So in the road also it is the mold board is supported by the wheel itself. In the ground also it is supported by this. So the whatever the soil support needs, it is taken by the wheels. Then semi-mounted. So these are more compact, but maneuverability is little better than the trailed one, because trailed one is very difficult to turn because it's a long and all the support is by the wheels. But semi-mounted, so its the maneuverability is very better than the trailed one, and it's more compact because some of the weight is taken by the wheels and some of the weight of the support is taken by the hitch point. So basically there is one wheel, you can say gauge wheel is used here in this case, and mostly during the operation some of the weight is taken, some of the support, the thrust, soil thrust is taken by the gauge wheel, and some of the weight is taken by the hitch point. Then mounted one, completely it is supported by the hitch point, 3-point hitch, and it's mounted on the hitch point system, and during the operation, so the weight is given by the 3-point hitch, and when it is required to lift it up, so automatically the hydraulic system controls the depth. So basically these are called direct mounted or tractor mounted, where actually tractor carries the plough, and during the transportation all the weight is taken by the tractor itself. Next is how the mold board plough is arranged during the operation. So on the requirement, according to the requirement, that mold boards are arranged in such a way that one way, if it's required to be ploughed, so it's called the one-way plough. So where it turns the soil to the right hand side. So like this is called the, it can only turn the soil to one side only or right hand side. So this, therefore it's called the one-way plough. It requires laying out of the field in land, starting with back furrows and ending with dead furrows. Basically during the operation, so if you follow the tillage lecture, so you can see how the ploughing is done from the back furrow to the so toward the center, toward the center to side. So on the basis of that, there will be back furrows will be there and ending with the dead furrow in this case, because it just turns the soil to one side only. So two-way plough generally turns the soil to both right side and left side. depending on how you require it. So two sets of bottoms on a common frame, you can see this is a common frame. So there are one side is just up and one side is down. So when one set is in operation, other one will be up. So mechanically or hydraulic cylinders are used for rotation of the this two-way bottom. So when you take the turn, the other one has to be just turn down. So and the down one will go to up, so that both will be in operation. So basically the gauge wheels and gear wheels are automatically positioned to get that one. So it also eliminates the back furrow and dead furrow, since it can the back furrows are just removed because it can turn the soil to both sides. It is advantageous for terraced fields or contour, because here there should be no dead furrows or back furrows. So the soil should be properly distributed. So this is advantageous for the contour field. Animal dung plow is also called a turn or turn-raised plow. So if you see, so animal dung plow is very generally single bottom plow. So which sometimes it's called a turn-raised plow. Then let us go to the moldable plow attachments. Coming to the attachments, first of all, let us see different other components. So first of all, the hitch point is very important. So here hitch point and frame having 3-point hitch or single point hitch, you can say this is the lower one, single point hitch, and there are three hitch points are there. So basically 4 points are there. So depending on your requirement, you can just connect with them. Then there is coulter and jointer. We'll discuss that one first of all. What is coulter and jointer? These are the attachments or accessories with the moldable plow. So generally a coulter or is a vertically mounted component of moldable plow that cuts an edge ahead of the plowshare. Basically, before the cutting of the soil by the plow bottom, so before that one, a small cut has to be done or edge by a vertically mounted components, or basically the disc one. So it's called the coulter. You can see here, this is coulter. This one is just ahead of the shear point. You can see shear and this one. So first the point is cut here like this, then this one follows. So this is take the small you can say cut, then this follow. This is very basically the easier to cut by the mold board. So if you see the coulter is like a disc one, rolling coulter, you can see in this case, which is gives an clear edge before the plow. You can see this is the moldable plow and this is the coulter, you can see. Next one is the coulter has an optional accessories. Sometimes it is used, sometimes not used. It is a miniature plow which is called the jointer. The jointer flips over the small part of the surface on top of the slice before plowshare flips the main slice. Basically, you can see here, this one is the, or this one is the first or second, you can say. So this flips on the main slice. It ensures that all of the plant debris gets covered by the flipped slice. So basically, when the mold board cuts, so like this, there are some debris or grass will be there. The grass has to be cut properly by the small miniature plow. That is called the jointer. So basically, the coulter and jointer are the most important attachments used in the mold board plow. Next, the adjustment, different adjustment of the mold board plow. First of all, you can say the furrow width adjustment and upper link attachment. Attachments are the important points because different tractors you have to attach the mold board plow so that the distance between the lower link and upper link has to be little slightly adjusted. So therefore, there is a upper link attachment, this one, and there is a headstock. The beam, then the points are there. There is a cross shaft is also there, cross shaft and furrow width adjustment, so that the furrow width can be little adjusted by just revolving this furrow width adjustment screw, you can say, or handle, you can say. Then there is leg, or you can say this L type or C type tie-in, so frame is generally used. Then the mold board plow is there, which is attached the mold board bottom to the frame. Then disc coulter and jointer will be there. So at the fore of the front of the mold board plow, then tailpiece, other things are there. So this little adjustment has to be there. Then if you see, this is the basic 3-point link hitch system. 3 hitches are there. So 2 lower link and 1 top link has been attached to this one. So there little adjustment should be there. Then throat clearance is very important also. So there should be proper throat adjustment. So throat clearance is the perpendicular distance between the point of shear. You can see this is the point of shear and lower portion of the beam. So the beam is attached to the frame of the mold board plow. Then there is a adjustment called the down suction or vertical clearance, which is called the maximum clearance under the land side and the horizontal surface when plow is resting on a horizontal surface when working. So you can say during working of the plow, so the clearance between the, or maximum clearance between the land side and the horizontal surface of the plow on the horizontal surface. So this is called the down suction or vertical clearance, which range is generally 3 to 5 millimeter, so which helps in proper adjustment. It is proper adjustment so that the penetration of the plow's shear is efficiently done. Then there is a horizontal suction or side clearance. So basically the depth is controlled by the down suction and width is generally little adjustment is done by the horizontal suction or side clearance. So the side clearance is the maximum clearance between the land side and horizontal plane touching point of shear at its gunnel side and heel of the land side. You can say the land side, and this is the you can say the between the land side and horizontal plane touching point of the shear. Shear is touching at this point, and this is the land side or gunnel side or heel side of the shear. Heel side of the land side and gunnel side of the land side. So there is a difference or clearance. It is called the horizontal suction. Generally the value is around 5 millimeter it is done, so that less friction is less contact to the furrow wall is done and less friction is encountered, therefore less draft is applied on the mold board plow. So these are the different mold board plow adjustments. Then coming to the parts of the shear. So basically there are 4 parts of the shear point. So this one is the shear point, which is the forward end of the cutting edge. Cutting edge is this one. So it first touches the soil, it cuts the soil, then by the meantime this is the cutting edge of the soil. So which front edge of the shear makes horizontal cut. So this is horizontal cut, this is the point of contact, point of cutting. Then wing of the shear. So the wing of the shear is outer end of the cutting edge of the shear, which is generally just looks like wing. Then gunnels, which is the vertical face of shear, the vertical one, how it is actually lifted, the shear point, shear portion, which slides along the furrow wall. So it is to attach to the takes the side thrust and supports against the furrow wall. So it's generally when it's cutting, this is the this line is the furrow wall, so it just touches the furrow wall. So this is called the gunnel. Then cleavage edge. So cleavage edge of the shear is the shear which forms joint between the mold board and point of shear. So this portion, so this here actually upper portion, here actually there will be mold board, next portion. So this is the point which is called the cleavage edge of the shear, which forms joint between the mold board and shear of the frog, shear on the frog. Then wing bearing. So the level portion of the wing of the shear providing a bearing for outer corner of the plough bottom. So basically the wing, and so this point at the bottom level portion of the wing of the shear providing a bearing for outer corner of the plough bottom. So basically the outer corner of the plough bottom, this point, this is called the wing bearing. And throat is the principal part of the shear, or which can be, throat means just like this portion, the shear point, wing and cutting edge is also called the, so this is the throat. Then types of shear, slip shear, on the how the shear is manufactured or designed. So it is a one piece shear with cut cutting edge having no additional parts. It's one piece, is called the slip shear. It has to be directly attached to the mold board. Slip nose shear. So one piece shear is very little problematic, because it whenever there is worn out of the shear, you have to just replace the shear. So that one problem. And slip nose shear, it is a shear in which point of shear is provided by a small detachable piece. So basically, if you say this is a detachable piece which can be when it is worn out, it can be replaced easily. But in the case of slip shear, so it has to be removed and just taken by another new one, so replaced by the new one. And seam shear, in this case it is a seam as an additional part, comparing in this case 2 parts, in this case 3 parts are there. So this is a support one, you can say. This is the slip nose shear, and this is a another one seam is attached, which is called the additional part which give the support to the slip nose shear. So again, this is very easy to control the width and other things, and also when there will be worn out, that can be replaced easily. Then bar point shear is just like a bar, or you can say a mild steel. Point of shear is provided by adjustable and replaceable bar, so which can be when there will be worn out, so just you adjust the bar so that it comes, so like this comes out the shear point, so then automatically you can adjust without replacing. So this bar serves the purpose of point of shear and length side of the plough. So length side and shear point shear same. So this is the bar point shear is having the advantage of replacement of length side also. Then coming to the different materials of construction for the mold board plough components. Different components are made of different parts, different materials. First is the components mold board. Mold board plough is the most important one, which takes it should be more rough and tough, because the soil has to move on the surface. It should be very hard. So generally it's made of high carbon steel. Then shears. So basically shear has to be again very hard, because it cuts the soil. So different type of shears are there. Slip shear. So it should be high carbon steel or soft center steel or cast iron. Sometimes it's made slip shear, because it has to be very strong, and it has to be replaced when there will be worn out. Then slip nose shear made of cast iron. It's a little easy to make, so because it can be just replaced when it's worn out. Seam shear, so because it's a small part having a additional part which supports, it should be high carbon steel. Bar point shear is also made of high carbon steel. Then length side, which takes the side thrust, is made of soft center steel or mild steel or cast iron. So these are the different materials for construction. Then frog, which generally made of cast iron or mild steel. So these are the different materials for different components of the mold board plough. Coming to the mold board plough hitching. So hitching already we discussed. So 3-point hitch system is generally used. 3 points are there, 1. So in this 2 and 3 points are there to hitch the mold board plough. Then if you follow the lectures of soil dynamics and different forces acting, tillage forces you can say. So then we'll discuss in that lecture how the draft, side draft, then vertical force is generally applied to the mould load plough when it is in during operation. The 3-point hitch will encounter the top link and two lower link, how they will behave. So they will be during the penetration and during the lifting. So basically top link and lower link will be in compression and tension. So basically when during the, so there is no vertical load, or sometimes the tailed plough they take all the load from the own weight, but hydraulically controlled, where actually there are 3-point hitch are there. So there the hydraulic system exerts the vertical force, you can say V, this one. So applied. So there will be therefore the top link and bottom link will be having different tension or compressive force. So then during the ploughing, so there are different forces will be acting on the plough bottom, the soil reaction forces, the draft, side force, then the resultant. Everything will be discussed in the soil dynamics lecture. So please follow that one. Hope you understand everything. Please like and subscribe to my channel.